Okay, so construction is one of those easy topics. Once you know how to use these tools, okay. So this tool, it may be different from the one that you may get. You need to buy a mathematical set. Once you buy a mathematical set, you are going to find different tools inside it, okay. This is not a mathematical set, but I know for you students, you need a mathematical set. So you are going to find the angles, the protractor, and of course the compass, okay. So how do we use these tools? That's very important, okay. So this one is used for drawing arcs, okay. So if you can see, there's this stand. I don't know if it's clear. Yeah, so this is what you put in the paper, then you start moving like this, okay. When you want to do an arc, we're going to learn what an arc is. In fact, we can learn from here, okay. So if you want to do an arc, you just do this. That's a beautiful arc there, okay. So yours may be a cheap one, because you students don't like buying expensive things. So it's going to have somewhere where you can put a pencil. Once you put a pencil, then you are going to have a pencil here, okay. So it may be different, but one side is going to have a pencil. Mine has this pencil here, okay. Then here it's the stand, okay, or where you stand when you want to do an arc, okay. Then another tool that you need to learn to use is this, okay. So most students have got challenges using this. Okay, not most, but in my experience, some students have challenges in using this. Let me see if I can just zoom in a bit. Okay, that's too much. Okay. So if you look at this, it has numbers from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, okay, 90 up to 180, right here, 180, okay. Then on the bottom again, there are other numbers. Where there's 0 here, there's 180 on the bottom, okay. And if you look on the other side, on top there's 180 and there's 0 here, okay. So this small zero, okay, is used when you want to measure an angle starting from here. How do I say this? Let's say they say draw an angle of 30 degrees. So first you need a line, okay? So you need a line which you can draw with a rule. Okay, so you can do a line like this. With a pencil, of course. Me, I'm using a pen, but of course you have to do with a pencil. Is it clear? Seems like there's an issue. Let me just do this. Okay, it's clear now. Okay, so once you draw a line, then let's say this is point A and this is point B. So you want to draw an angle ABC, okay? So ABC, meaning that from A to B to somewhere C, somewhere there is C. So the angle ABC is 30 degrees, okay? ABC is 30 degrees. Let me just share the link for those who might need to join us. Okay, so we want to draw an angle of 30 degrees. So you get your instrument here, okay. So you have to make sure that where the angle, where you want to put the angle, it should be here. You see here, there's a line here, okay. So this is the center. So you put it nicely like this, okay. So if you can see this line, and this line. There's a line behind the instrument here, behind the protractor. There's a line behind which is in pencil. Okay, this line. So if you put like this, you have to make sure that this line is exactly on top of that line that you have drawn, like this. Okay, exactly on top. Okay, so, and again, the center here should be where your line is starting. Okay, our line is starting from here, right? This is where our line is starting. So this center, you have to put it here. Okay, so you put it there, and you make sure that this line is exactly on top of this line. Okay, so now if you look, this line is the one that is on top of this line. Okay, so this line, how do I say this? Let me just align it properly. Okay, so as I was saying, this line is the one that is on top of this. So the zero of this line, that's where our zero is. Okay, when we want to measure 30 degrees, we can ask ourselves sometimes, should we use this zero or should we use this zero? Okay, there's a small zero here and there's a big zero here. Okay, so which zero should we use? Okay, so this line, which is on top of this line, so it's zero. We use this zero. We don't use this zero because we're not using it in measuring the angle. I don't know if you are getting me, but let me see. We have this zero and we have this zero. Okay, most of you may not have this problem, but some have. Okay, let me bring it close again. In fact, some of the protractors don't have these lines because they are confusing. Okay, we have this zero and we have this zero. So we want to measure an angle. An angle is going to be something like this. Okay, it's going to be like a line and a line, then an angle. So where we're starting the measurement, it's always a zero. Then the numbers will start increasing, 0, 1, 2, 3, just like that. Okay, so when you position your protractor like this, okay, so your 0 is here. Okay, so your 30 is here. So use the top number, not the bottom number. Use the top number because where our line is, that's where our 0 is. Okay, so this is 0. Okay, where our line is 10, 20, 30. Okay, so when you reach here, it's not 150, this small number on the bottom, it's the 30 that is on top because our 0 is on top. Okay, our 0 is on top, 0, 10, 20, 30. So our 30 is here. So you just have to put a small mark. Okay, I've put a small mark. Then now you can get your rule. You connect this small mark with where your center was or where B is with a straight line. Okay, it means you have done an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, so that's how to use this special instrument. Once you're comfortable using this special instrument and also using this special instrument, then you're good to go. So now let's discuss this one. So let's say you want to draw a line which is 10 centimeters. How can you draw a line which is 10 centimeters? Okay, so the first thing is you need your meter rule. Okay, so from your meter rule, you ask yourself, 10 centimeters is from where to where? So you can see it's from 0 to 10 somewhere here, right? So what you do is you get your compass, you stand on the 0. Okay, so in this case the 0 is here. Okay, so you stand on 0, then you stretch it for 10 centimeters. Okay, so you make sure that it reaches 10 centimeters there. Okay, so it has reached 10 centimeters. Okay, as you can see, I stood on 0 and then reached 10 centimeters. Okay, then actually the explanation that I'm about to give is not for the line. Lines are easy to draw. We'll come back to what I was about to do. Lines are easy to draw. If it's 10 centimeters, you just stand on 0, then you go to 10 centimeters, you just do this. Okay, now if you want to draw an arc of 10 centimeters, the first step is to do what I did first, which is called transferring the length. So the length of the arc, if it's 10 centimeters, you have to stand on 0 and go to 10. Okay, now after that, you stand where the center of the arc should be. In this case, let's say here, then you do an arc. Okay, so that's how to use this. Okay, so I think these are the two most important instruments that you need to know how to use. Then next I'll talk about the types of lines. Okay, there are two types of lines. The first are called solid lines. So solid lines are dark and they are thick. Okay, like this. This is a solid line. Okay, then the second types of lines are thin lines. Okay, so thin lines, as the name says, they are thin. Okay, so in these ones you don't have to make them dark, they have to be light, meaning that when doing them, when constructing them, you don't have to apply too much pressure on the paper, so you have to be just easy. Okay, there's a line there, the examiner will be able to see it and you can see it. Okay, it's different from this one. Okay, therefore you have to know when to do solid lines and when to do thin lines. Okay, so that's basically it. I would advise that you try on your own, just to get used to construction. Okay, so now we're going to go into types of constructions, okay, or types of lines that we're expected to construct. We're going to start with triangles. Okay, so the first type of a triangle that you need to know to construct is where you have been given a side, and a side, triple S. Okay, in this one they can say construct a triangle where AB is 10 centimeters, BC is 5 centimeters, and AC is 6 centimeters. Okay, so how do you construct this? So first you start with one of the given lines. Okay, in this case AB 10 centimeters. So you get your meter rule. Okay, you put it you put it on the paper, you draw a line 10 centimeters starting from 0, you move 10 centimeters. Okay, so once you are done with that, next you want to have a line BC is equal to 5 centimeters. Okay, so BC, which basically means by the way, label your line. So this is 10 centimeters, right? So now BC is from B to C. We don't know where C is. C can be here, C can be here, C can be here, C can be, it can be anywhere. We don't know where C is. Okay, the only way we can know one is if we know the angle. If we know the angle between B and C, we can measure the angle and draw a line going to C. But we haven't been given an angle, we've been given 3 sides. Okay, so what can we do? Okay, so what we can do is, in this case, we've been given 3 sides. We're going to approximate. Okay, we know that the distance from B to C is 5 centimeters, but we don't know where C is. So we're going to stand on 0 and then transfer a length of 5 centimeters. Okay, so this is 5 centimeters. So we're going to stand on B. We're going to say C can be anywhere along this, a faint line. Okay, C can be anywhere here. Okay, because from B to this arc, it's 5 centimeters. So C can be anywhere here. We just don't know where. We end there. That is the only information we have. Next, they have said AC is 6 centimeters. So from A to the same C, it is 6 centimeters. So again, we approximate. Okay, so we stand on A, we do another faint one. Okay, so when we stand on A, C must be somewhere here. So where the two arcs are meeting, that's where C is. Okay, that's where C is, meaning that our C is here. This is our C. Next is just to connect A and C like so. Not properly done or not nicely done, but yeah. Okay, so we have got a triangle here. Okay, the second one is where you have been given a side angle and a side. Okay, a side angle and a side. So you have been given two sides and an angle. Okay, it can be given that AB is 10 centimeters, angle ABC is 45 degrees, and BC is 10 centimeters as well. So they want us to construct a triangle. What do? We start with 10 centimeters, okay? So we get a meter rule. We stand here. We transfer a length of 10. Oh, sorry, I keep on doing this. Sorry. Lack of practice. Even teachers, they end up using wrong methods. So 10 centimeters, we just have to do it with a meter rule from 0 to 10. Okay, so this is AB, okay, which is 10 centimeters. Okay, next they have said angle ABC is 45 degrees. So angle AB to where C is, it's 45 degrees. So we get our nice instrument, we put it there on B, and making sure that the line on the left is on top of this line. Once we do that, we measure 45 degrees. So 45 degrees, it's here. Okay, this is 40, this is 50. So 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. In fact, the longer one is always the middle point, so it's 45 there. Then from there, we have been given the distance from A to C. Oh, sorry, we have been given the distance from B to C, 10 centimeters. So we know that the line from B to C will pass through this dot here, but they have told us that that line is 10 centimeters. So we just have to construct from here, making sure that the meter rule passes, okay, so that when we draw a line, it passes through that point. Okay, this is a special point here. Okay, the one that is 45 degrees. Okay, so but we have to make sure that where we're starting from, it's 0. Okay, we have to make sure that we're starting from 0. Okay, so we have to make sure that we're starting from 0. So you have to stand on 0. Okay, your B, I mean your 0 mark should be on B. Okay, where your line is starting. Okay, and you make sure that the meter rule just passes through that mark we created. Okay, so we're going to draw a line which is 10 centimeters. Okay, which is going to be something like this. So it ends here. Okay, so this is where 10 centimeter ends. Okay, so from here we're going to join this point. By the way, this is our C. Okay, it's 45 degrees and it is 10 centimeters. Okay, so now we can connect A and C. Okay, like so. So this is our triangle. Okay, let's go to case number 3. So case number 3 is where we have been given side, angle, angle. So I've been given a side, one side, and two angles. Okay, for example, given that AB is 10 centimeters, angle ABC is 37 degrees and angle B, let me see, yeah, BAC is 70 degrees. Okay, so this is the question here. So how do we construct? So again, we get our I always start with this. I don't know why. Yeah. So you have to start with this, okay? The ruler. So 10 centimeters, you just stand here. You do 10 centimeters, okay? So stand on 0. You do 10, okay? So from there, you need ABC 37 angle. This is A, this is B, this is 10 centimeters. So angle ABC 37. So you need you need your you need this to measure the angle 37. Okay, so you are going to stand there. Okay, so 37, sorry, let me put it like this. Yeah, I'd put it like this. So the issue was I have to use the smaller numbers because my 0 is going to be here, right? Here it's 180, so my 0 is here, so I have to use the smaller numbers. Now I want to use the big numbers. So I'm going to put it like this. So 30, 35, 36, 37. So 37 is here, okay? So I know A, B, C, the line from B to C passes somewhere here, right? But the problem is I don't know how long the line BC is. I don't know how long the line BC is. So all you can do is you draw a faint line which will show you that, okay, BC has to pass through here, right? A faint line. Okay. So we know that C has to be somewhere here. We just don't know how long this line should be. Then again, BAC 70 degrees. BAC 70 degrees. BAC 70 degrees. So we have to stand on A. Okay. So again here, I'll turn it like this because I want my 0 to be where my line is. Okay. So my 0 here, big 0, is on the line. So we are looking for 70 degrees, which is here. Okay. So again, I can draw a faint line. Depending on how fast I am in an exam. Okay, this one, it's not faint. It was supposed to be faint. This one, it's a bit solid. So you can erase it if you want, okay? Yeah. So now, where the two are meeting, that's where C is, okay? So now, once you know, oh, this is where C is, you can connect them with solid lines now, like this. And this side as well. You have to do it better than me. I'm recording, so my vision is somehow disturbed. Okay. Yeah, so you haven't done it properly. Anyway, you can't see. On the phone, you can't see, but maybe you can. Yeah, it looks like two lines. It's not supposed to be. It has to be one line, okay? Because one has to be faint, one has to be solid. Anyway, this is our situation here, okay? This is our situation. Okay, then the next type of drawing we're going to look at, we've looked at 3 cases of a triangle. The first was where we have been given 3 sides. The second was where we've been given side and 2 angles. The third was, 2 sides and 1 angle. The third is where we've been given a side and 2 angles. Okay, so once you practice more, just by looking at the question, you can tell what to do, you can plan how to do it. What is important is to know how to get the third point, okay, or how to get the C, especially the C. Okay, A and B, it will be part of the first line, but getting the third point, that's how you have to be strategic, okay. So next we look at a quadrilateral. Okay, so let me use a fresh page. So quadrilateral, it's a shape with four corners. Any shape that has four corners like this, it's called a quadrilateral. Okay, so now these also can questions can be in different ways. We're going to start with the first case. In the first case, you can be given an angle, and a side. Let me see. You can be given a side, angle, and yeah, and the side. For example, they can say, given that construct a quadrilateral where AB is 10 centimeters, ABC is 30 degrees, BCA is 40 degrees, it means AB 10 centimeters, ABC 8 degrees, BCA 40 degrees, and then side angle, side. Then AC 5 centimeters. Okay, so this is what they have given us. So let's see what we can do. So AB 10 centimeters, so we get our rule. So 10 centimeters from 0 to 10. Okay, so our AB is 10 centimeters. ABC, the angle is 30 degrees, so we get our 2. We put it nicely there. 30 degrees, it's here. Okay, so we know that from B to C is 30 degrees. We don't know the length of the line, but we know that from B to C is 30 degrees. Okay, then they have also said that BCA, in fact, since there is no more information from B to C, we can draw a faint line so that we have an idea that B to C will likely pass here. Okay, I'm trying to draw a faint line, but I'm using a pen so that you can see. Yeah, but it's not coming out right. So if you see the way I've done it, it's not good. This line has to pass through this point. Okay, so it is just that I'm being disturbed with the phone, therefore I can't do it nice and neat. Okay, but we know that C must be somewhere here, right? Next, we look at BCA. Okay, sorry, we have done this one. We have also done ABC. Okay, next BCA 40 degrees. Okay, BCA. Sorry, it was supposed to be BAC, not BCA. Sorry, I'm just making questions from from my head. Okay, so it's supposed to be BAC, not BCA. So BA to where C is 40 degrees. Okay, B A B C. Okay, some edits. So we have AB, we have ABC, then we have supposed to be BAD. Okay, BAD. A quadrilateral has 4 corners like A, B, C, D. So it's BAD. Okay. I think I'm going to get exam questions because I'm just making up questions here. Okay, so BAD 40 degrees. Okay, so here this line is for where C is. but there's another point called D. Okay, so BA to where D is 40 degrees. So we can do the needful. So 40 degrees must be somewhere here. Okay, so you can draw another faint line from A, from A, okay, something like that. Okay, so now we go to the last point, which says AC. So this last point is supposed to be AD. Okay, not AC, AD. Okay, so AD is, oh, can you get me with this noise? AD is 5 centimeters. Okay, so AD is 5 centimeters. From A to where D is, it's 5 centimeters. So we get from 0, we need to measure 5 centimeters. We know that D is somewhere along this line. Okay, so we need to measure 5 centimeters. Oh, people are inboxing me. Sorry. Let me. Sorry. There was an issue with network. Complaining that they are not having network. Okay, let's continue. So we were discussing a quadrilateral. So let me start again. The question I was doing was not properly constructed, so let me do another one. So the first one, we'll say construct a quadrilateral where AB is 5 centimeters, BC is 3 centimeters, ABC is 55 degrees, BCA is 70 degrees. Sorry, BCD. I always forget D. BCD, is it? No, let me do this again. BAD, 70 degrees. AD, 5 centimeters. Okay, so this is the first quadrilateral that we have to construct. Okay, so AB 5 centimeters, BC 3 centimeters, ABC 55 degrees, BAD 70 degrees, and AD 5 centimeters. So they have given us this is a side, this is a side,